So we've come down from the 1595 section now into the basement kitchens. So essentially, as we've just come through the main door to come down into the basements, we're coming down Victorian steps, basically. Underneath here, it looks like at some point, it looks like there's a little bit of a dog kennel, or there's a little space underneath there. As soon as we head down the steps itself, we're then going on to basically basement level now. There's the main door. Now this door itself is original to 1624. This is the original kitchen door. You can imagine that closed and then opening it, and what would we have seen? Over in the centre there, we would have had a large inglenook fireplace. And above that, you can see these huge, great big timbers. Essentially, they're just squared off edges of a tree. And you can see here the big metal hooks still there for hanging whatever meat, whatever they're actually cooking in here wise. The inglenook fireplace has now been blocked up. That has been blocked up. We don't know when it finished down here really. I would probably say Victorians from the look of the brick.
We can still see the shape of it.
And you can still see the shape of it. And the reason why I say Victorians down here, once again, we don't know for definite, but we know that this was used for cold storage. So when it was being used for cheese and butter during the Evans family having it as a working farm with a dairy farm, this would have been used for cold storage. Same as next door, which is the other side of the basements from the dairy side. We also know the opposite side as well was used for hanging meat as well, because the dairy itself was used for processing pigs and salting rooms and stuff like that. So dual purpose across the years. But yeah, as you said, you can still see where that fireplace is. We've got something pretty spectacular above the top of that though, and we've got one of the original 1624 keys, which has got a stunning S-shaped lock on it. And the door is actually propped up just behind us. It's literally propped up against the wall, and that door is what this key fits to. And once again, on the back of this door, you can see a bit like when you go up towards the attic, the locking mechanism is in a block of wood. That's really old. We had a specialist come and he said, do you know how important those are and how kind of rare they are to see? So he got rather excited about that. But yeah, this key, I mean, imagine the amount of people that have used this. This is, pretty spectacular. It's pretty rusty, but it's pretty fantastic. And that's just hanging in, literally just down here above the blocked up fireplace.
What was that a door to?
So this door itself would have sat here. So we've got this first door that we came through just with the archway, and then we've now got this other door that's propped up would have been where the opening is as you're walking into this end room. When we walk into this end room, as we're saying, cold storage, you've then got the Victorians building this shelving unit, these arch shelving units. In all honesty, even that, it might be later than that with the brickwork in here. It could even be later on. But either way, it's cold storage down here. And these would be added in a little bit later. With any of the windows down here, I mean, some of it has eroded now. But you've got that classic thing of having a window, and then you've got the slope, which would be about here, sloping down, so the light actually comes down into the basements. You'll see that in lots of medieval kitchens. You'll see that in lots of the same period as this with 17th century buildings, where they're just adding that light in. Or even where did I go to recently? It was in Walsingham. There was a magistrate's kind of court there, and Georgian period, and sloping shelves down so all the light would pour into that building itself. But yeah, there's a lot of eroding down here. We have a collection of bricks. Some of it, I wouldn't necessarily call it a brick now, it's that bits of rubble. But you can see where the 17th century long bricks, they've chucked whatever is in there. It's got pebbles, it's got everything. They're now messed around. They've just probably a local quarry, and they've just, slapped them together, made them together. Nice thin long bricks, and this is what we've got down here. As you can feel, it's cold and damp, as you'd expect down here. But yeah, it would have been, as you can see over that original brickwork, they have put plaster over it. It would have probably been lime washed down here and nice and clean, as you'd expect it back in the day. And we can see the remnants of that through the green mould and the dampness of down here. We've got a bit of poured concrete there. That concrete has been poured in when they did the works. I think it was 2011. And we've also got, in the centre of this room, we've got modern day bricks actually propping up the house from underneath. And that was the work that they did. The work that they did was really important, actually, because where the parlour is now, you've got the picture of Charles and Oliver Cromwell. That wall there apparently would have ended up on the garden. So that work really needed doing. It's actually got a metal girder above the top of that window, halfway through on that wall. And underneath here, they needed to, once again, put these stilts in to keep the place secure, as everything is a bit crumbly down here, as you can see.
So we come down the steps. You sort of get turned around a little bit. So
You do.
in the first section, we've come through the old door.
Yep.
What's above us now?
So above us now is the parlour. The easiest thing with this house is to find where your chimney breast is and work from there. So if we know this is the ingle nook that's been blocked up, we know above that is now probably Patrick or Colin talking to someone above the fireplace. And then above that is the squire's room. And then above that you've got the attic. So everything's easier to find from the chimney breast. I'd have probably been a good priest hunter. But you can kind of locate your stuff from there itself. But the timbers in here are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But it's cold and damp.